far worse things waiting man than death.
You will be scared shitless.
This is S. Michael Sims, and with me, as always, is
Erin Dawn.
Slinky Giallo.
Slinky
Ooh.
Giallo, the man himself. Not more apropos than for tonight's episode, which is on, I'm assuming, one of your favorite films in general.
Yes. Yes, one of my favorite horror movies, thrillers, movies, period. Like you said, it's in my top 10, probably my top 5. Yeah. So Blood and Black Lace. It was you, right? What did I ended up picking this one? I think it was me. You gave me 3 choices. So yeah, what are we doing? Are we just getting into it? Because I can talk for like 3 hours on this movie. Like I can just start.
I mean, we kind of have semi-format. So basically, I will say that this is the first time watch for me, although I have seen Giallo films in passing over the years, with it being such an important genre. But this particular film is my first time watch. But when is the first time that you watch?
Wow. Okay. Yeah. See, I didn't know it was the first time watch for you. That's great. That's I'm curious to know. And you, lovely Erin, what's your history with this film?
So it's probably a 5th or 6th a watch for me. I've always loved it because I just think it's beautiful and executed very well, and it is a really good example of the Giallo genre, subgenre rather, and of just really good filmmaking. And Mario Bava really knocks it out of the park with this. It's a really beautiful movie.
Yeah, it's man, what all right, here we go. What's to say about Blood and Black Lace? It hasn't been said before. Let's see. My first exposure to this film is from Eli Roth's Hostel 2 commentary. He spoke of Giallo films very heavily in that commentary, and that is what perked my ears up. I said, "Oh, what's this? Lurid, women in peril, stuff like that. Oh, what's this?" And so I looked into them, and then after my mother passed away, I bought a set of Italian Giallo flicks. It was 3 of them. It was Crystal Plumage, Blood and Black Lace, and Strip Nude for Your Killer. And I kind of fell into them that summer and got lost. And Blood and Black Lace was the very first Giallo I ever watched, ever.
And we have a Blood and Black Lace poster on our wall in Italian.
Yeah. So there's that. She is an amazing person, and she bought me. She knows it's one of my favorite movies, so she purchased a gorgeous theater one sheet of 6 Perdone l'Assassino version of Blood and Black Lace, and it has it's the
6 women for the assassin.
6 women for the murderer, for the assassin. Yes, that's the original Italian title. And so that's how I got into Giallos. I saw them and I just kind of, fell into the genre and never really climbed out. Let's see. I can do first off, let's explain what a Giallo is. A Giallo film is a product of Italy. The name Giallo comes from here we go. In Italy in the 1920s, they used to publish these books, pulps as they are called in America, and they had these ugly covers that were yellow, and so they got nicknamed the Giallos, and they were published by a company called Il Mondadori, and they used to do what's his name? The guy who wrote Sherlock Holmes. I can't think of his name. Totally blank. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. They would publish his stories, Agatha Christie stories, Edgar Wallace stories, murder mysteries type, like detective stuff. And so then in the 30s and 40s in Germany, there was a whole thing of film called the Krimi, however you want to say it. And they're very, want to say, they're stark because they're in black and white, and just the way they look, they have a certain look to them. And so that kind of mixed together. And in the 60s, we started getting murder mysteries on film. Mario Bava technically did the first one, but it doesn't count because it's black and white. It's called The Girl Who Knew Too Much, has John Saxon in it.
Doesn't count as a Giallo.
It is, but it's not, because it's the first blocks of the giallo that he's laying down, but he doesn't have his formula set. That wouldn't come till the next year when we get Blood and Black Lace, and that is technically the first giallo. I will argue anybody in a parking lot about it being the number one because it checks off every box that you need to be considered a giallo. Take a breath.
Now, Sims, what was your experience with this? Like, this was a first time watch for you, but did you have any Giallo background? Had you seen other Giallo films?
So technically, the only, if you can count Torso as a Giallo, Slinky introduced me to the movie Torso, kind of a proto slasher slash Giallo. So I have seen that, loved it. So sorry. Gonna have to edit that.
Fix that in post.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post.
Fix it in post.
My goodness gracious. So sorry. Anyway, I was familiar with the films of Mario Bava from Black Sunday.
Yeah.
So, very colorful, dramatic, usually some great cinematography, music. But no, this was a first time Giallo. I'm so sorry, you guys. Give me just a second to compose myself. I need to drink a little more water. Okay. So it was my first time kind of sitting through a classic Giallo other than Torso, which is kind of a novelty for me. So I really appreciated it for the cultural phenomenon that it is. I think it's a gorgeous movie. I was taken aback by a couple of the scenes, like just to me, there's very little that's more terrifying than a beautiful woman getting brutally murdered. And it's in so many horror movies, Jaws, all the
Women in Peril.
movies.
Women in Peril.
And
Print money.
to see a movie that early on kind of set the pace for all that came later was really thrilling. So I'm so glad that Slinky recommended.
And it's let's see, there's a lot of stuff that movies now today owe to this movie, and it's like we can go down the list and check it off, but let's see, do you just want to get into it? Because like when I talk about certain scenes, it's stuff, the scenes I'm going to mention, I don't know if I'm going to go through it scene by scene, but I'm going to go through it in chronological order. It doesn't matter. Let's just get into it. I guess I'm just too analytical about stuff. So, are you okay?
You about the opening, because in some of the commentaries I saw, they talked about there being an American opening. Have you seen this?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because we were watching this earlier in the week and I paused it and was like, "Did you know there's a different opening?" And she's like, "Yeah, you told me." Because from what you even said this too, you said, I guess with the distributors in America, because Americans are different than Italians, they didn't think they would appreciate the opening that's on the film, the original opening, where it's like an introduction of our players. And it's literally giving you a list of characters. Here's your players. Here you go. You're just going to set you. And it's done really, it's really pretty,
Really Indian style story.
I really like how the original intro is, because it introduces you to everybody, and because of that I slowly learned the actors' names, so that was good. But the American intro is just a shot of all the wire mannequins. It's just like close-ups, blurred. It's the same music by Carlo Rustichelli, but Rusticelli. I think I said that wrong. I'm going to massacre the Italian names. You're not going to hear any of the music come out of my mouth. So, but it's the same song, same length. It's just that version has our players and the other version doesn't, but I'm glad you brought that up. So it's kind of cool. So yeah, the movie starts and I do want to say it's a Technicolor nightmare in the best way possible. I can say that it is absolutely fucking gorgeous to look at this movie. if I ever had a chance to talk to Mario Bava, I've always wanted to tell him it looks like a painting that's moving. It looks like a moving painting. It's gorgeous, and that's one of the things I can never take my eyes off the film when you watch it. It just sucks you in, it draws you in. And so, yeah, do you want to say anything about?
No.
You just get into it. Okay, so the movie starts, and it's a cool thing that Bava starts the movie off this way. It shows you the haute couture, the sign, and then it comes down. It comes down. It's hanging. So he did that on purpose to show you something is askew in the model house. He wants to show you it looks good from afar away, but as soon as you get closer, shit's not what it seems. We are introduced to Dante DePaulo. See, I got my note. Dante DePaulo and Isabel, who is played by Annabelle Guarini. I think I got that right. And what's his name? Franco Scarlo, who plays Dante DePaulo. Now, Dante DePaulo will steal every scene he's in this movie. He will absolutely kill it. There's some discussion by a tree in the parking lot, and we're what's happening? What's happening? And we see Isabella Guarini talking to Dante, and Dante's quite dope sick, kids. Dante is dope sick, like you read about. He can't breathe. He's fucking feeling it, man. He's going through it. Right. And so she's like, "Oh my God, Frank, what do I do? What do I do?" And he's like, "Fucking Isabel. Pay attention, kids. Isabel is who Frank gets his dope from, and Isabel took the last of Frank. So it's creating all this stuff on the hush hush." Isabel's like, "Don't worry, we'll get it." Da-da-da-da-da. They split up. And then you see another person come out and try to fix the sign, but he does not a great job of it, leaves the ladder, walks away, and then cut. Now we're introduced to the fact, no, that's when the cab pulls up, and we are introduced to Isabel, who is played by, what is it? No, Isabel. Francesca Ungaro. That's who plays Isabel. Isabel has a diary, which is going to just throw everything into chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the opening. Like you said, the sign is definite foreshadowing of something. There's shit going to go down. Things are not as they seem. And the impromptu meeting of these two players right off the get-go with some shady shit going down.
Yeah.
It's immediately, like you said, this is the kind of shit that draws you in. And his mastery of cinematography and use of color, liminal spaces, like everything is very symmetrical. Like right behind the sign, then you see the front door and the mansion, and yeah, it's just very, very striking. So.
And the way he shot the movie, there's not as a former graphic artist and stuff. There's not a bad composition in that movie in any scene. Like everything is so dialed up, and I mean that in the best way. Like every frame is chock full of information. It's so visual. I love this movie because it's a movie. It is the definition of visual entertainment. It is just eye candy, and the color palette and everything. And so far, it's checking off everything that makes a giallo. It's mystery. There's some sketchy stuff going on, and it's. Because giallos always tend to show beauty and then they scar it. That's a running theme in giallos, and so it's already setting up everything we need to build a perfect giallo or to give you the blueprint. So yeah, right on.
And also, I guess my takeaway from the opening is the usage of color is just so beautiful, and you've got this like almost misty look to it when the car is coming in, and it's just like you said, it's a moving painting, right?
Dreamlike.
But it's very dreamlike. Like you can definitely tell the influences over other filmmakers, specifically Kubrick. That opening scene reminds me a lot, especially just with like the colors and the sort of smokiness of it. It reminds me of the scene in Clockwork Orange where they're beating the hell out of the homeless guy. It's that same sort of backdrop to it. And it's very unsettling, but also very beautiful. And Slink taught me this expression, which is the angel and the wreckage.
Yes. The Angel in the Wreckage was something that Mario Bava used to do in his films. He would purposely show you something that's really pretty, really beautiful, and then he would film, say, the murder scene or whatever, something getting destroyed, something getting mangled, and then he would cut back to something pretty again. And in the film, when Isabella is murdered, you see her body get drug off. Well, that's the wreckage, and then he cuts to a statue of a bunch of cherubs.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the angel in the wreckage. He used to do it all the time. And you mentioned the dreamlike stuff in the movie. Well, Bava cut his teeth on directing gothic horror in Italy. He did Space Vampires, Black Sabbath, Black Sunday. He did all this stuff. So he was prepping himself for this to, make it just the perfect recipe, man. So yeah, that's hot. That's hot. I didn't mention that. So,
Glad you
um,
Black Sabbath, and another hugely important film in history, not just because of the band that saw the movie and decided to name the film
mhm,
after it, but there's a great freaking scene with it looks like an evil doll. It's a girl in her bed. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's Kill Baby Kill, and then in Black Sabbath it's that doll that yeah, yeah. I don't want to give it away, but
Terrifying.
Black Sabbath is really underrated, man. If you can find that in English, definitely watch it. The one on Tubi's in Italian, and I can't get through it. So, you know.
And you can't go
Um
wrong.
yeah. And so we see Isabella get drug off. Then we cut to the interior of the fashion house and we get to see the inner workings, what's happening. We're introduced to Countess Christina Cuomo, who runs the fashion house. She's the head HBIC. She's the head bitch in charge. We're introduced to all the models and such that work there. Slowly they come out and there's a fashion show, so shit's happening. She's going around, keeping people in line, disciplining the girls. You don't care about stuff unless it concerns you, blah, blah, blah. You're just running the place with an iron fist. And then she finds Isabel's body. Freaks out. This is, I'm messing this up. I'm just massacring this. Yeah. So we find Isabella's body, and then, all right, pump the brakes. That stops everything. Everybody has to talk to the cops now. We have to call the police. And um, now we're getting somewhere. Yeah,
And then that's where we meet our detective, who Silvestri, who is played by Thomas Rainier or Reiner, depending on which way. And
The dubbing.
Thomas Thomas Reiner is super famous in Germany and in Italy as well for having done a lot of voiceover work. So
So, Slinky, I did want to mention, especially after you mentioned the beauty and the wreckage, just my thoughts and feelings about the discovery of the body, and the way it
mhm,
was handled. It was terrifying on a couple of levels. One is that this beautiful woman has now got these awful scars on her face, and it was
mhm,
easy to tell how she got them. Although while she was being killed, I think she was being strangled, but she was also kind of being manhandled against this big tree. Like
mhm.
effects kind of give you the impression that he's like rubbing her on the tree and bashing her against it. And he really like messes her face up. So it was just terrifying to me to see her face like that in death. And then of course, have them discover it. But then you also think like, how did it get in there?
Yeah, yeah. See,
I,
and yeah, and with Giallos, I know the kills in this movie are fairly brutal. And that's the thing. That's again, that's another hallmark of Giallos. The kills are just they're supposed to be like gut wrenching, and they're supposed to be pretty at the same time. That's the trick. And it's only in Giallos, man, have I ever seen set pieces that are just, oh, the girl falling through the stained glass windows and stuff, and it's like, wow, that's really pretty. Wow, I shouldn't like that, but I do. Like it's
yeah,
so
there
they
was
always
a transition of her body from closet.
yeah, so they always show the destruction of beauty, but it's done in such a pretty way. That's what makes it digestible. That's what makes it, so it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Blood,
Um
yeah, cognitive dissonance.
yeah. And let's see. Want to mention Eva Bartok, the actress who plays Countess Christina Cuomo. She had an affair with Frank Sinatra back in the day, and apparently they have a child together who is unclaimed but looks very much like Frank. But I forget where she's from, but during World War II, she escaped her country by marrying a soldier to flee from Nazi occupation. And I guess this soldier and her traveled around. He raped her continuously. This is in her autobiography. This is like, this is stuff you can read. She has a very interesting life, very fascinating life. Eva Bartok does. So, and she's a knockout. She's absolutely gorgeous. So, yeah, there's that. I just want to throw that in there.
And Countess Christina is such a great character because she is this, she's balls to the wall, no nonsense. She's going through, she's bossing around all the girls. She knows her shit.
She doesn't take shit from the detective either. She's like, I don't.
No.
I love that.
No, like she's very she's in charge, right? She's in charge of herself and she's in charge of the fashion house, and she's not gonna let a little thing like the murder of one of her models prevent the show from going on.
Must go on. Absolutely, the show must go on. And in the scene where she finds Isabella's body, and then the next scene we're introduced to Thomas Rainier and Cameron Mitchell. We're introduced to Cameron Mitchell as well. And in that scene, we find out that Christina knows the inspector. This is not their first introduction because her husband passed away a little sooner than this, before the story proper, and under mysterious circumstances. Ooh, stirring the pot, kids, stirring the pot. So again, Giallo's another layer. So we're getting to it, and yeah.
Red herring could be something to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then see what happens after that. He's just Inspector Silvestri. He's questioning everybody. He's questioning the models. He's questioning the models, and he's questioning Cameron Mitchell. And Cameron Mitchell says a funny thing about Isabel when he asked her. He's like, did you know her personally? He's like, yeah, she was quite lively. Always struck me funny that he said that. She's just quite lively. So.
But there was one
she
girl-
was a whore. That's what he meant to say, was that she was a coke dealing whore. She was quite lively. Quite lively. Yeah, it's Cameron Mitchell is just one of those actors. It's very it's just fun to watch him. It's fun to watch him work. Classically trained. And, I love him in this, and I love him in all his alimony movies, as we call them, because he did quite a few of those. But he's very enchanting, and him and Ava Bartok definitely play off one another very much. Like he's kind of the sort of like strong silent type in a lot of ways, right? And then she's just like she's the bitch. She's the fucking, she knows her stuff, right? And
Cameron Mitchell's pretty cool because he's dapper as fuck, and I get that old school Hollywood vibe from him, like the old leading man type thing. But you said he's very strong and silent. So Silvestri's doing his thing, and then we end up at I guess there's a fashion show now. We're at the fashion show proper, and this is big stuff here because there's a really great shot, which I don't know all the technical stuff, but there's a shot of the fashion show where it never cuts. It's the same continuous shot, and it goes from dressing room to dressing room to it goes down the line to 4 different ones twice. It doesn't cut. He achieved that by throwing the camera on a wagon. That's amazing. And for Cameron Mitchell in an interview to be like, do you know how he did that? He threw it on a radio flyer, man. So it was pretty cool. And come to find out, Cameron Mitchell and him were quite good friends. I guess he did 6 movies with Bava. He said the problem with Bava is he wouldn't leave Italy. He only directed in Italy. He didn't go anywhere else. So we get this fabulous shot. Oh my God, it's just a continuous shot. It's gorgeous. And then we start seeing how seedy and kind of sketchy everyone is because I forgot his name. He's dressing Annabelle Guarini, and he's like, the brooch. Where's the brooch? we open a box with the brooch, and there's a diary inside. And Annabella Guarini's like, "Oh my God, it's Isabella's diary!" And she starts flipping through it. And they do this really cool thing where they show every person in the cast do like a head whip. It's really cool. It's really cool how they do it.
Further illustrating that everybody in this movie is trash.
He's a piece of shit. Yeah,
Everyone is trash.
he's garbage.
Nobody, like
Redeeming.
everyone is accountable
Yeah.
Which
for
become a popular trope later in slasher movies, where you just have a
Yeah.
right,
teenager.
right.
The more unlikable they are, the more you want them to die, or the less upset you are.
The more nice and pleasant they act, the more wretched they are. Like, yes.
But for its time, I mean, the other thing is like there's a lot of themes in this movie that are so bonkers for this time period.
Abuse, the abortion, like
Yeah, like though I was gonna mention that the abortion thing, drugs.
Take care.
Well, it's murder. There's a lot. And so, and again, I'm not sure if I could do scene by scene or anything, but it's like there's so much technical genius in this flick. Like if you sit there and see, and that's one of the reasons, and another reason I love it so much is no matter what you're a fan of, horror, thriller, suspense, whatever, even technical stuff, like even film school kids
Right.
who were like, I can't stand Mario Bava. But man, the crazy cheat codes he wrote when he did Blood and Black Lace. Oh my God. So it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me that he achieved that with a wagon. There's
when
the color theme in the movie, black and red, are the signs of death. They signify either you're going to die or some effed up stuff is going to happen in and around your orbit. The phone is red. That's amazing. Anytime someone wears black, they're going to die. And at the end, Claudette is wearing red and black. And you're like, oh, she's in the ground 10 feet. She's so dead. So it's like, it's really cool that there's so much stuff we got just in the horror genre from this flick, man. Like even, I don't know if he mentioned it or anything, but when they cite just slasher flicks in general, it's Peeping Tom, Psycho. I consider this a slasher flick. It's a body count movie. The likes of Agatha Christie would totally blush. So, it's all day, man, all day. So does anybody else want to talk?
Well, I would say physical aspect of it, I'm totally into liminal spaces. I'm into symmetry, color, just all of the devices, that good cinema use. And I just couldn't get that scene with the purse in the foreground out of my head. Like there was something that really drew me in about it because it has the diary in it, and you're seeing all this proximity of these people who want to get their hands on that diary.
Yeah.
See her kind of leave the room, and it's just building all this, and it honestly doesn't really go anywhere, but it just builds all of this tension, how important this fucking diary is, and just centralizes everything. And again, it's a black purse and a red diary.
Yep, and red diary. And the thing is, it's funny because when he does that edit where everybody does the head turn and looks at the diary, it's again, well, we said that it shows you that everybody's accountable, everybody's hiding something. Totally forgot where I was going with this. And yeah, no, it's gone. Yeah, it's gone, completely gone.
Talk about the first kill after the diary becomes.
Yep, first kill.
At the fashion show, there's a really great scene of a phone. Nicole going to call her boyfriend, the other dope fiend, and we see.
I love it.
Yeah, Dante DePaulo. We see a really cool shadow against the wall come up behind her. So while she's on the phone, somebody's eavesdropping on her phone call. Then a few minutes later, she gets a phone call from her boyfriend. No, it's the killer, telling her, "Hey, come here, bring your purse." Yeah.
How the hell do you not know what your boyfriend sounds like?
Exactly, because he doesn't even sound like him on the phone. Not at all. Not at all. So yeah, so she goes and gets Peggy's car. She asks her for the car keys. Peggy gives her the keys, and she's like, "Don't get caught." And she's like, "I don't care." She leaves. She goes to Dante's antique mall thing, which is this is one of the prettiest shots sequences in the film, man. Like it's scary, it's terrifying the way it's lit. It's an antique store, but I would be terrified to get lost in there, man. Um, the music comes in, and then the thing is, there's a scene where, and I mentioned this to you before, Giallo directors cheat, and they cheat all the time. They did it in Torso, Sergio Martino, and Bava does it in this. There's a scene where she's looking down a hallway, and there's a flashing light,
Yeah.
and the light flashes twice. You can't see the killer. It flashes one more time, you see the killer. Then it flashes two more times, the killer's not there. They just inserted a frame of the killer and then pulled it out
Right.
just to throw you off. And then they did it in Torso too, where he has a different character come through the door and he does it for a second. And it's like, I love Giallo directors because they do that. We have red herrings in the movie, but we're going to cheat too because, why not? So it's really cool. But that sequence is amazing. The killer messes with her, he taunts with her. Like he throws armor down on the ground to get her to run a certain way. This is Slasher 101. This is total Slasher 101. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful scene to watch. And it features probably one of my favorite cinema screams ever put to film. There's a scene where she turns and looks at the camera and she screams, top lung, full bore. And it's like, wow. She's really scared, man. But it's such a great moment. Such a great moment. Death in the antique mall.
So what is
So
hits her with in the end? Like I was a little like, what the hell is that thing? You know what I'm talking about? The claw.
it's a claw, or it is a gauntlet for a suit of armor that has three spikes on it. And funny because in certain parts of Europe, when that film was released, that's what they decided to call Blood and Black Lace in those parts of the world as to distribute it. They called it the Iron Claw. So it's kind of funny. The movie was, it got that title just because of that one kill. But it's a gauntlet from a suit of armor. She catches a mitt in the face. So,
Very
but just bravo. It's done so well, and it's really cool. It's very tense. The whole thing. It's
and only
again, it's just a piece for your eyes, man.
thing I kept going back to after watching this a couple of times is how everybody must have felt going to see this movie for the first time a mere 3 years after Psycho came out. It's like must have been mind blowing, like with all of the stark death and color. It just I can't imagine, people even Europe especially seeing this kind of stuff, for the first time. It's not
Well, it's funny because you look at the movie and it's a full frontal assault on your senses, right? But the thing is, it bombed when it came out in Europe. It bombed in Italy. It didn't make any money.
what the hell.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't realize that until what was it? I think you told me that, or it was a couple weeks ago when we were doing research on the film. I was like, you are kidding me. I've never heard that before, but yeah, it was a critical and commercial failure in Italy.
Yeah, the thing
And
also fucking failed. Like, how does this happen? Like, how do these amazing films come out? And
because it was new and different and people weren't ready for it.
and
And then after it had come out and set the standard, then the Giallos were one of the most lucrative exports Italy had for like 15 years were Giallo films. So it's really funny, man. It was like, here, you want this, but not yet. So, you know, oh, he's frozen
very
again.
avant-garde, which that's the risk that you take when you're doing it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So we have this kill, and then the plot thickens, I guess. Uh,
Yeah, what is it? There's the murder at the antique place, and then Silvestri's had enough of this shit. So he rounds all the male suspects up and he says, screw this. I'm holding you guys for 24 hours. This is what I'm going to do.
Because heaven forbid it should be a woman who did all this killing or
guys.
half of this killing.
Yeah.
For that matter,
It's gotta be the
it's very much of like, oh no, we're going to round up all the men, because, oh, we want to protect all of the women, right? And at one point, they even say it's like there's a sex maniac on the loose.
Yeah. They think the killer is a sex maniac because he could possibly be impotent and is upset that he cannot perform with the women, so therefore nobody can have them except for him and his knife. Um, yeah, we jumped a big part. I did. Peggy's murder. We have to get to this. This is yeah.
And I love Peggy's murder because she is wearing this absolutely brilliant green dress, this emerald green dress, right? And it really pops in this scene. And the killer figures out that, she's got the diary and she has already taken pages out of the diary that list her as accomplice, whatever you want to call it, co-defendant. And so he rips the pages out and puts it in the fire, and the killer's just like, no, I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you and torture you.
Yeah, her murder's brutal AF, man. Like, and I guess in that scene, there's a scene where he smacks her against the bookshelf and she falls on the ground. Well, that's a real bookshelf, and I guess it almost killed her. It almost fell on her. And then later in the movie, there's another scene where she almost died because something almost hit her in the face. So Peggy's a trooper, man, you know. But this murder's brutal because he just gives her all business, dude, upstairs. Then he knows Silvestri's on his way because he sees him out the window. So there's a great shot of him dragging Peggy up the stairs, up one angle of the stairs, and then the camera just kind of cuts over a little bit, and you see Silvestri and his partner coming up the other side of the stairs. You're just like, oh, that's so good. It's so pretty. Um, Takes Peggy away. You don't see where. You just see her in a basement somewhere because it's a great shot of the killer just creeping down those stairs. I love that image so much. I put it on a t-shirt for a while.
Image, I saw a couple of more behind the scenes things that talked about killer that has no face.
Yes. Yes.
So that became like a popular kind of iconographic, like the Question is a superhero that looks like.
Yeah, he looks like the Question or the Blank. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy, man.
The scene, yeah, Madonna's character in Dick Tracy. Hope I didn't give anything away there.
Right.
But Breathless's alter ego had the same situation where it was just this like faceless tan,
Yeah,
stalking over the face.
Yeah, it's like a latex hood. But yeah, so we see the first part of Peggy get the beaten and like a redheaded stepchild, and then the second part is they're next to a boiler, or they're next to a furnace, an old school furnace where you in the basement you keep this thing lit and burning to heat your house. And he's got her tied up. Now, there's an interesting part that happens in this scene where she's struggling with him, and what he does is he grabs her hand and he burns it. I guess to let her know he's not playing around. He's like, "Look, man, this is real shit." Well, in the struggle, she pulls the mask off, and her face, she recognizes the killer. Now the killer's like, he has to kill her. And I just always wondered, I'm like, well, I wonder if he was just gonna let her go. Because I mean, she did burn the diary. But in Giallo rules, these applications have to apply. You don't know who she showed, so now I have to murder her and all her friends. They all have to go. So that was always that little part I was finding.
That's another thing with Giallo films is there's a lot of like, I have to murder all of the accomplices that I think are involved in this. Like, I have to murder everyone down to the ambulance attendant who allowed, this person to be taken care of or whatever. Like, Giallo movies are very they're very brutal in that respect, but they're also just very mean-spirited. You know what I mean? They're very spiteful, and they're very much about making everyone pay down the line, just down the line. It's like if you knew about it, you're going down.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, it's funny because it has such a sinister 6 degrees of separation in those movies. Like that's how I always kind of looked at it. Like she said, to touch on what she said, if you knew the ambulance driver, I'm gonna murder you and all your kids. Like it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So don't ever piss off a Giallo killer, man. And like in Torso, the guy thinks he's gonna blackmail the Giallo killer. Are you high? No, he's gonna murder you with a car into the next century. That's what's gonna happen. So yeah, man. I love these movies for that. I love how just God damn it, they're mean, they're angry, and they're not gonna take it anymore, man.
That was good.
Brr. Yeah. So after Peggy's brutal murder, that's when the line of perverts are they're detained for 24 hours. That's when Silvestri's had enough of their shit and they're detaining everybody. Interesting part in this scene is what's his name? Carlo. Yeah, the guy who professed his love to Peggy. We have seen him 2 different times eating some sort of dubious substance. We don't know what it is. He's just scarfing pills. Well, in this scene, we find out that he suffers from seizures, but nobody actually studied any kind of medical accuracy in this movie. So I don't know what kind of seizures he has, but they're pretty wild. And then Luciano Pagozzi is in that scene, who is a much drucker drawing of Peter Lorre. He looks like the Italian version of Peter Lorre. Him and Carlo go at it because Carlo thinks he's impotent, and Pagozzi is like, "You're a simp, bitch. You're a simp." And so that's interesting. That's a very interesting scene. And so then Silvestri locks up the perverts. He locks them up for 24 hours.
Like that's gonna solve everything. Yeah, great idea.
But again, red herrings falling out of the sky, just everywhere.
That's another thing with Giallo movies is they love their red herrings. I mean, all the way. They want you to be thinking that it is literally anyone,
any male,
yeah, of course.
That's the thing.
Because this is the thing. Like if you look at a movie like not to give anything away, but if you look at a movie like Crystal Plumage, there's a lot of these ones that are like, and I think that's kind of one of the things I really love about Italian horror and in Giallos in specifics is that they're not afraid to make women look batshit crazy, and they're not afraid to make women look brutal and mean-spirited and vindictive, and I love that shit because they don't do that in America.
Usually are all the things that men usually are. They showcase very well the potential that women have to literally do all this crazy stuff too. A good example is Four Flies on Grey Velvet we just watched, where, not to spoil anything, kids, if you've watched that movie, you know it's a woman who was abused her whole life, and she's no. And she goes down she has a death list, and you're like, holy shit, that guy, he just gave you ice cream. But she's just like, bah. So yeah. Absolutely. I love that they do that. They showcase that women are very well capable, just as much as men, to just bring it all down. So yeah, lock up the perverts. In the scene before that, Peggy is interrogated, and we see a notebook get pulled out. And it has 2 little, I can't think of what they're called, fleur de lis or whatever. It's the, fleur de lis. It's the New Orleans Saints logo. It has 2 of them on the notebook. So from that scene, we know, well, the killer has a very unique notebook. Well, when the police are releasing the perverts, this notebook is thrown on the table in front of none other than Cameron Mitchell. Oh, uh-oh. So then later on, they send everybody home. We hear Countess and him start talking their dirty, dirty plan. It's amazing. Then there's a few more murders. There's the one scene that's really good is it's at the see, I'm just messing this up, man. I'm totally messing this up. There's a scene where another murder happens, and the thing is, we know now that there's 2 of them involved. We know that it's Max and it's Chris. So what happens is there's another murder where he's like, you have to, the cops, they're gonna figure it out. We see the difference in the 2 killers, because the murders with Cameron Mitchell were very brutal and like just forceful. He's throwing Peggy into the bookshelf and stuff. Countess, when she murders Claudette or when she murders Greta, she distracts her. She plays a harp to get her to come out of the room, and then she kills her with a pillow. Right? When she kills Claudette, she drowns her in a tub and slits her wrist. Cameron Mitchell is like kicking him in the face and throwing him downstairs and stuff. So it's like I always like that juxtaposition they showed between the different styles of murder. Yeah, spoilers, kids. We find out they're both dirty, dirty bastards. And
Double crossing, no less.
yeah, yeah. And then the double cross happens because you know it's coming. And ah, see again, not that we're gonna give it away. I mean, what'd you think of the end of the flick though? Like, what did you think of the reveal when you saw it? Like first.
Did you figure it out
I did
before everyone else did?
not. So yes, it was surprising to me. Oh shit, there's a female killer. There's two killers. There's oh my god, like it was cool. It was not what you would expect from what up to that point had unfolded as a standard Ten Little Indians Agatha Christie novel. So I thought that as well must have been groundbreaking for its time, especially showing a woman, which now we have Pamela Voorhees and all kinds of other films where there's a woman killer. So, but Claudette's death is what got me the most out of everything in this movie. It was so visually striking, and yes, you can you can see the little thing on her wrist, before it gets slit. But just the way it was handled, her looking up through the water, and then that cloud of blood like spreading from below where she's been cut up towards her beautiful slash dead face. It was just intense, and they brought it home in the end. So many other movies that I love that are kind of slow burns, that have just punctuations of violent things throughout the movie, but then the end kind of just all culminates, and you get kind of a masterpiece. I mean, with the red phone dangling, yeah, it was just super effective.
Mm-hmm. No, that was good.
Yeah.
You're really killing it.
No. And so I mean, God, I remember the first time I watched this movie. Oh man, yeah. So I'm kind of envious a little bit. Um, yeah, that's the thing, man. I've said this before, and I'll always say it, but nobody makes movies like the Italians. Nobody. When they exaggerate stuff, it's wild. And so that scene of her in the bathtub, um, it's beautiful. And that's the thing about Giallo flicks, man. Death in Giallo is beautiful. Yeah, man.
It's a whole experience unto itself. It's
Mhm.
why it became a genre of its own and influenced so many other subgenres. It's that stark.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I love that genre is because it brings everything. Because I'm one of those people where movies are a visual experience, and that's the thing. Like talkie movies are good, but dude, thrill me, man, thrill me. And Giallos do it. Like it's everything's firing on all cylinders in Giallos. Like even the soundtracks are beautiful. And the thing is, the soundtracks for a lot of Giallos, they don't sound like this. The soundtrack that Rusticelli did for this movie is insane. It's like a tango. What's it? Like a tango with death. Yeah, it's really good. And then later on, we get Giallos that are more jazzy and Goblin,
Get more metal.
and then we get more metal in the 80s. Yeah, so it's kind of cool because this is like the 60s flavor of Giallo with this type of the tango music and stuff. So um, it's everything, man. It's everything. They bring everything. They make villains and heroes out of both sexes. I've always admired that. The locations, and like we talked about that when we did Don't Look Now. Everything is like visually striking in a giallo. Like some directors, like Argento and Bava, they're known for putting interesting sets and stuff like that in their movies to keep the locations interesting. Some giallo directors don't, like Fulci. He'll shoot in an alley. He doesn't care. But Argento will put like pretty buildings. Bava will do interesting things with textures, textiles, all kinds of stuff in giallos.
My favorite sequence is near the beginning, where the first victim, oh damn it, what's her name?
Isabel.
Is running through the woods, and you see like this light coming from behind, and
Mm-hmm.
those kind of trees that are kind of touching each other in the middle, and it's almost like she's running through a tunnel, and
Hmm.
like this woman is running to her death. It was just so effective, visually striking. We should talk about what was scary about this film,
You will be scared shitless.
and that would be my number one is the liminal spaces, the cinematography. Like I mentioned before, okay, so this is called the Scared Shit List, the namesake of the show, and it's the time on the show during which we discuss what was actually scary about this film. And again, my number one is just the visuals. Um, it was so striking to see the body placement, the cloud of red blood coming up on Claudette's face in the bathtub as her dead, beautiful face looks up through the water. Uh,
Hmm.
there's just so many scenes that are just visually stunning. There's no other way to put it, and that touches you on a level very similar to terror slash.
Hmm.
What am I feeling right now as I'm watching this? It's like Slinky brought up earlier, the beauty versus destruction. I'll keep bringing up Jaws till the day I die. There's nothing more terrifying to me personally than a beautiful woman being destroyed. So
Hmm.
that's all throughout this movie. It's the main trope. So that's my big scare. And then the other kind of guess minor one would be when they're in the antique store and yeah, appears for a second and then disappears. And, yeah.
Yeah. Mm. I think the thing that was the scariest for me was just the fact that these are faceless killers, right? There's something so cold and detached and brutal also about these killings. I think I sort of miss the days where the killers were not these like quip machines. You know what I mean? Like where like when Freddy Krueger became the like welcome to prime time, bitch. Like whatever. I miss these just brutal, nameless, faceless, so to speak, and very much the movie is about greed and it's about lust, and it's about dishonesty. It's about covering your tracks. So I think the scariest thing to me was really just that like these people don't give a fuck about anybody other than themselves and their need to protect themselves. It's very animalistic. And just it's brutal. And I feel like it's kind of, Fulci tries to do this with New York Ripper and a couple other ones, but all it really amounts to with Fulci is it's just gross. And whereas I feel like this movie is artistic,
Oh,
and I think that just makes it scarier.
There's two for me. There's two things in the movie that always terrified me, and it's one what you said. The killer doesn't have a face, so even if you see the killer, what are you going to tell the police? Like, what are you going to say? He looked like a guy. He had a slouch hat and a trench coat on. Okay, you just named half Italy. That's terrifying. That's terrifying. Then the other thing is at the end of the movie when you see that Max tried to fuck her over. What's scary to me is that this is someone who she thought loved her. She had him help murder her husband so they could be together. And now this mother is coming. Two things that are scary in the movie is the faceless killer because you can't tell the cops anything. You can't give them a description. And the fact that at the end, when greed always wins over everything else, and Cameron tries to fuck over Countess Christina, it's like that's scary to me that you went ride or die with this person, and then you're gonna try to fuck them over, man, for some money, and just so that's terrifying to me.
he gets what's coming to him.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, that's it. So, but now
We're rating.
yeah.
Yeah, and like how the hell this is so many of the movies that we do are impossible to rate because of how important they are to popular culture, how special they are to us personally. So, I try to split it up a couple of different ways. As far as horror goes, this is technically not a horror movie, but it is a thriller with many elements of horror in it, which would go on to honestly boost the horror genre in terms of all different kinds of tropes that we now see in slasher movies and horror movies in general. So um, it's hard to classify as how does this rate as a horror movie, other than how influential it was. So I would say 4 out of 5 stars in terms of influence on the horror genre for sure. If not 5 stars, fuck it, I would go as far as give it 5 stars in terms of influence
Okay.
on horror. Um, in terms of filmmaking, in terms of craft, there were so many things that began with this movie that carried on into, the Giallo genre and horror itself, techniques. Um, again, I'll never shut up about liminal spaces and symmetry, things that other directors like Brian De Palma would steal, in Dress to Kill, Harry, Phantom of the Paradise. I love Brian De Palma movies, but I didn't learn until many years later how much he stole from Mario Bava and Alfred Hitchcock. Uh,
Ooh.
like just sucking on those teats, man. Uh,
And Argento too. I mean, there's a scene that like literally the scene in Dress to Kill that's so iconic. The one like the scene in the elevator is like textbook. Is it Deep Red?
It's deep red.
It's Deep Red. It's textbook Deep Red. So
it's like, yeah, there's such a fine line sometimes between.
And that's fine. Just own it, man, because he won't own it. He's always like, I've never seen a Giallo. Murr. It's like, shut up, man. Come on, dude. Just
Guy, and in fact, well, let me just finish rating. So,
Mhm.
in terms of uh, all the movies of all time, no, you're not going to compare it to Casablanca or The Wizard of Oz or Citizen Kane or any of the
Mhm.
timeless classics. But it is a thing of beauty, it's a thing of its own. It's so influential and important, and it's fun to watch.
Mm.
If you like a whodunit, yeah, it's a hell of a whodunit. It's enjoyable. The characters are quirky and despicable. The kills are brutal, and it's just an absolutely beautiful film to watch. So, um, I'm gonna go 5 stars on that as well. Um, and I don't do that easily. I haven't given any movie 5.
Mhm. Yeah, it's the first one you've done that to, sir. So good
So,
deal. Good deal.
for all those reasons and more. Thank you,
Mhm.
Slinky, for recommending.
Mm.
5 out of 5. Sex Maniacs.
There you go. Yeah, the killer is a sex maniac. So okay, so we're gonna go five everything for this movie, 5 technical, 5 it's a fun movie. That's the thing. Like you said, it's really fun to watch. It's exciting. It's a visual feast. Um, and again, technically, it's so masterful to watch this movie. Like this movie should be studied in film school, I feel. Um, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this 5 stilettos.
Ah, and your
5 stilettos.
stiletto before my very eyes.
My
Lovely.
Italian stiletto knife. Yes, yes, yes.
Excellent.
So yes, so five Italian stilettos all day. 5 Italian stilettos on every aspect of the film. Technical, it's engaging, it's insane to watch. The music is great. Like it's a movie where it doesn't matter who you like, it doesn't matter who you are. There's something to like in this flick, and so yeah, it's a wonder, and you owe yourself to view it. Absolutely.
Agreed. So we are 5 stars across the board. The movie that launched the genre. And if you have not seen any Giallo films, I agree with Slinky. And I asked him, which one would you show people as a template? This is the one. So
Absolutely.
get out
Absolutely.
first, then check
Yep.
out the rest of them.
Yeah, go down that rabbit hole, man. Tubi has a whole section of them. So just do it. Just do it.
Don't
Do
let Dress to Kill be the only Giallo you've ever seen.
No. Brian De Palma, the views and opinions of Brian De Palma do not reflect those views and opinions of the Scared Shitless podcast. So,
Uh, that said, I want to redeem Brian a little bit because he has directed some of the greatest horror movies of all time.
absolutely, man. We just watched The Untouchables the other day. Like, absolutely.
So excellent director, but yeah, he sucks a lot of teats and doesn't give a lot of credit where it's due. People are complicated.
Mhm.
So thank you again, Slinky, for this recommendation.
No, thank you, sir. Thank you.
It's always a pain in the ass to do the timeline, especially a movie that you know has so many important things to talk about. It's like,
Yeah, and you get excited and you skip stuff and So yeah, but thank you guys for having the patience with my scatterbrained ass and affording me the luxury of talking about this film, which I love so much for so long. Absolutely.
so I have two options that I'd like to throw at you guys for next week. One, since I have mentioned De Palma so many times, I would like to do Phantom of the Paradise, but
Oh,
I don't know
I
how
love
you feel
Phantom.
about doing a musical.
I love Phantom.
It does have a lot of terror and horror and revulsion in it. Everything that a movie that qualifies for our show should have, but it also is a comedy and it also is a musical. So
Yep. And
I
it has charm, and that shit goes a long way with me.
yep,
So,
wanted to throw
yeah.
that one out there. And then also, we haven't done a Friday the 13th movie in a long time. And
Ooh.
doing this movie reminded me of that, because Giallo films were so influential on slasher genre. And
Mhm.
we ended with part two, which means we would probably make the most sense to pick up with part three. So
You
I'll
want to do
let
part
you guys
three?
hash it out what you'd rather do, but the next two shows that we do, I would like to be Phantom of the Paradise and Friday the 13th Part 3. So just whichever one you'd rather do first, let me know, and that's what we'll do next week.
All right.
Phantom of the Paradise.
Okay, that thrills me to no end. I have not watched it with Christine yet, and she is kind of going down the list of all these movies that are super important to me. And this Phantom of the Paradise,
Fucking love Phantom of the Paradise, man.
the,
Oh, it's so good.
the
So good.
um, Paul Williams wrote all the music, plays the main villain. Uh,
Death Records. Ah.
yes, and
I love Phantom of the Paradise, man. I fucking love me that movie. It's so good.
he did the Muppet Family Christmas, the Rainbow
Yep.
Connection,
Yep.
most of the Carpenter.
Rules of Attraction. He's in that for 5 seconds. Yep.
He's also the kind of.
Voice of the Penguin from Batman the Animated Series. Yes, 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 yes.
I almost met him at a comic convention, and then he canceled.
Ah,
That's
I
it.
heard he's a really nice guy too. I heard he's like a sweetheart. So yeah,
There's
that's
a
cool.
documentary on him called Paul Williams Still Alive, where the guy was doing a documentary on Paul Williams, and Paul Williams liked the guy so much that he kind of turned it around on him and ended up doing the half of the documentary about the documentary filmmakers. So it was
See, that's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
okay. So next week, Phantom of the Paradise, 1974, Brian De Palma cult classic. I'd say it's right up there with Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Rocky,
I grew up watching this fucking movie, man. It's really good. It's a lot of fun.
Erin Dawn, I met through fans of Rockula. So if you like Rockula, you're gonna
Yep.
love it.
Yeah, you'll fucking dig it. You'll dig the fuck out of it. It's really good.
All right. I love you guys. Thank you for another successful episode, another notch on our belt, season two. Whatever episode we're on now. What is it? 5, I think.
I think
Think so. Yeah, 5 or 6. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
it's awesome.
rolling right along despite illnesses and whatnot. So have a great
Awesome.
week. Thank you. Sorry about all the technical difficulties and my illness.
No.
That's okay.
I didn't care about any of that shit as long as you felt better. That's the thing. So
I do feel so much better. I'm animated tonight, and you did such a great job. You both did of introducing me to this movie and helping me see it.
no,
Um,
I'm so happy you liked it, man. It's so good. So good.
a few times, which I rarely do with the movies that we do. Like I'll watch it once. If I fall asleep, I might try to watch it twice. But this I actually watched almost 3 times. I didn't quite get through it
See, it's fucking engaging as fuck, man. It's really good. It's really good. So
much.
and you notice different shit every time you watch it. Yeah, it's so good.
There's
It's so good.
haunting scenes that will stick with me. You know.
Yeah. I
Um,
wanted to mention that scene where Greta drags the body out. It's really good. No, 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 not now. I gotta talk. But all right, man.
yes, love you guys. Have a great week.